Good morning, everyone. For some of you, good afternoon. My name is Rob Bonacore. I am the Director of Enrollment Management here at the College of New Jersey, and I'll be providing some tech support for you this afternoon in terms of our webinar. A few items before we get started. So our webinar will last for about half an hour, no more than 45 minutes to an hour at most. We'll be respectful of your time, and in that time we'll have some presentations and some time for you to be able to ask questions of our staff. As you noticed when you came into the webinar, all attendees will be on mute. So you'll be on mute throughout the entire presentation, and you will not be able to actually voice your voice during the webinar, but we will take your questions. Point 3 is basically that questions can be asked at any time. You do not need to wait to a end of the session or a question and answer session. At any point that you hear something, you can ask that question. Point 4, please use the question window. So on your toolbar, you'll see at the bottom it says questions. You can type questions in there, and that's how you ask questions of our staff and the presenters today. Questions do go to all Tcnj presenters and moderators. You do not need to specify which one you wanted to ask that question of. We will all see it, and it is recorded with your name, your email address that you used to register with, and so we know basically who asked the questions. But questions are not seen by anyone else. So if you have a personal question or you don't need to worry about feeling that everyone's going to see this question, it's only the presenters and staff. Questions that received may be read. They may be read by the moderator to the presenter to be answered to everyone in the webinar if we feel it's appropriate. Most likely, answers are going to be answered back privately through that chat window. Since so many cases are unique, we'll answer your question directly through that chat window privately. If you do not get an answer, if we run out of time within the session, we do have it recorded of your question, and so we will follow up by email to your question by one of our presenters today, and that will be sent after the webinar to the email that you used to register this morning. Two last little notes. There is a camera icon in the upper right of your viewing window. You can use that to basically take screenshots. So at any point, again, if there's something, a URL, a phone number, someone's name, some fact that you need to remember, you can quickly take a snapshot of that, and all it will do is save an image down to your desktop, and you can come back to that image at any point. And lastly, our webinar is being recorded this morning. We will have it up on YouTube within the week. And so if there's at any point that you lose internet connection, that you need to come back, you have to leave early, if there's a friend of yours who you think would benefit from this and you'd like to distribute that to them, we'll send you the URL and you can come back and watch or skip through at another point. So that's it for me. I'm going to turn this over to Kevin Fay. He'll be our moderator for this afternoon. And Kevin, I'm going to switch screens to you right now, and it will be all yours.
Thank you, Robbie. And hello, everyone from the College of New Jersey in the Northeastern United States. My name is Kevin Fay. I'm an Assistant Director of Admissions, Undergraduate Admissions here at TCNJ. And I have two of my colleagues on campus joining me. Janika Berridge, who is our newest undergraduate admissions counselor in the Office of Admissions, and Jennifer Margarito, who is the coordinator of Global Academic Outreach here at TCNJ. For those of you who are joining us, hopefully in the message or invitation you had received regarding this webinar, you've already done at least some research into TCNJ to figure out whether or not we truly are a good fit for you and what you're seeking throughout your undergraduate student experience. We especially understand for international students that this can be a very daunting process, trying to do research on an undergraduate institution, especially if you're overseas. So what we're trying to accomplish through this presentation is really characterizing TCNJ as a school for those of you who may not necessarily be able to visit the institutions here in the U.S. As I said, to gauge whether or not we truly are a good fit for you. So as each of us who are presenting are connecting with you, we will reintroduce one another, but I'll start off at least by trying to capture and characterize TCNJ as an institution and put it in a context in comparison to our peer institutions. Just to highlight TCNJ or try to capture TCNJ categorically, We really are a comprehensive liberal arts institution that offers pre-professional programs. However, it is important to highlight that we really are primarily an undergraduate institution. We do offer some graduate degree programs in specified fields, but the vast majority of our academic programming on campus is on the undergraduate level for degree-seeking students. I'll talk a little bit more about really the inroads and the options for students to apply to a school like Tcnj a little bit later in the presentation. But again, just to characterize Tcnj as a school, we technically are a medium-sized school, which can range anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 students. Tcnj's student body hovers right around the 6,500 mark. So many students here at the college tend to characterize us as the kind of school where you'll always come across somebody walking across campus who you recognize, who you know, but there's always someone new to meet as well. We are a suburban campus in really central New Jersey, where you'll see in a later slide geographically where we're located. But as a contained suburban campus, we find that many of our students benefit from the fact that they have access to major metropolitan areas, major cities in the region, but that the campus itself is in a suburban setting. And we really have demonstrated success here at the college. As you can see in the last bullet on this slide here, our graduates tend to be very successful in seeking graduate school placement as well as full-time employment within 6 months to a year after graduation. That's really essentially why we position ourselves as a gateway for international students, because we do have demonstrated success for getting students into some of the most competitive graduate programs in the country and placing them in internship and employment positions at major companies. As I alluded to earlier, this slide does give you a general sense of geographically where our institution is located. As I said, we are in the mid-Atlantic, northeastern United States with access to Princeton. Princeton is about 20 minutes down the road from us, and Philadelphia and New York City are about an hour away from us, with major public transportation easily accessible for students on campus here. We are considered a residential campus, meaning the vast majority of our undergraduate student population do live on campus. And one of the major benefits, I will say, for first-year degree-seeking international students is that we do guarantee on-campus housing for the 4 years of your undergraduate education. So you benefit from knowing that you are on a safe, secure campus here in the region with access to cities in the area. In order to try and capture really our academic offerings here at Tcnj, it's important to note that, as I said, we are primarily focused on undergraduate programs, and we offer close to 50 different undergraduate degree programs, but each of those programs are housed in one of 7 academic schools, which are outlined here. So students here at Tcnj, while you will technically apply to one academic program, it's much more often the case where our students have varied academic interests. So while they'll come in to one academic program, they may declare a second major or a minor in programs that are even outside the academic school that it's housed in. You'll also see at the bottom here a sample of programs that are quickly becoming very popular for students, and especially popular for international students. And these programs are pulled from all of those academic schools that you see above. At this point, I will pass it over to Janika Berridge, who will try and characterize more so what the campus community is like.
Thank you, Kevin. So as Kevin mentioned, my name is Janika, and I am a 2013 graduate from the College of New Jersey. And so I'd just like to talk to you a little bit more about the College of New Jersey. Above all that TCNJ has to offer is its quality education. Because we have smaller learning environments, faculty members are a lot more invested in students as individuals, scholars, and future professionals. Professors know their students more personally, which really creates a space for discussion and collaboration between our students and faculty. And some of these relationships do continue beyond college. I know I still reach out to some of my professors, even now, just as professional relationship-wise. And many of our faculty members are active in their fields, so they're bringing their scholarship and original work to the classroom, which really influences the content and style of their teachings. And what's exciting about TCNJ is that our undergraduate students get to be a part of that, as they oftentimes collaborate with their professors in research and field experiences. As a psychology major, I was a research assistant in my professor's psychology lab studying motivation in undergraduate students. And that was a really exciting part of my education at TCNJ, since I got a real feel of what research is like. So there are many opportunities for experiential learning, whether it's through student teaching, for our education majors, clinical placements, which is our nursing field experience in nearby hospitals, sponsored research across all disciplines, internships, and study abroad. In a survey conducted by our Career Services Office on 2013 graduates, approximately 60% of respondents indicated that they had participated in an internship during their undergraduate experience, and about 30% of those internships resulted in job placements. So these experiences really prepare our students for postgraduate life. I have friends who now work at the company where they did a summer internship, or who were published as undergraduate students because of the research that they did. So it's an amazing opportunity for our students to really, one, get a feel of the field that they wish to go in, and to be prepared once they do leave TCNJ. When they're in the workforce, they've already had these experiences. Learning does not only take place in classrooms, but it also takes place in our community, in and around our community as well. Robbie, if you're able to put me off to the next slide, that would be great.
You can just move your slides, Janika.
Learning does not only, I figured that. Great. So as Kevin mentioned before about TCNJ, where we are located, right here in Ewing, New Jersey, the suburban community, but we're also close to Philadelphia, New York City, 4 hours from Washington, D.C. And something that TCNJ does is that sometimes it sponsors bus trips to these cities, so our students have the opportunity to leave campus on their own, or even as an organized group with their friends. And a lot of students take up these opportunities to really explore the culture and atmosphere of these nearby places. They take the opportunity to venture off campus. I know I've done it before. We've taken bus trips to New York a few times with my friends and my roommates, and that was really exciting. However, there is also a lot of activity on campus, so our students not only enjoy what's around, but also what is on the TCNJ campus as well. So as Kevin mentioned before, we are a residential campus. So about 90% of our first and second year students live on campus. So TCNJ has done an excellent job of providing our students with the resources and amenities necessary for an enriching and comfortable environment. There are laundry facilities, internet and cable and mail services in all our residence halls. And we have a variety of living arrangements, which are all convenient to academic buildings, campus resources, events, activities, and our many dining options. With over 200 student clubs and organizations that are academic, cultural, religious, social, athletic, and more. Our students are very involved in TCNJ's campus community. And I find that one of the most exciting things about this is that our students are not operating alone. They're doing this within a community of equally minded scholars and peers who quickly become their friends. So you always find a place at TCNJ. And so with that said, I'm going to pass it along to Jennifer, who will speak to you more about the international student experience.
Thank you, Janika. Let me just set this up right here. As Kevin introduced me before, my name is Jennifer Margarito, and I work in the Center for Global Engagement, which houses our International Student Services Office. Our International Student Services Office, or ISS for short, is the system in place to support international students as they transition from admitted applicant to Tcnj student and beyond. We offer various services here geared at helping international students navigate each step of their experience here at Tcnj. From preparing to move to the U.S. until graduation day, our support is available every step of the way. Our office is also available to respond to any of your questions or concerns. As you can see on the slide, our contact information is listed below. You can seek out our assistance in a variety of ways. One of the ways is to visit our website, which is iss.tcnj.edu. There you can find resources and answers for many of the frequently asked questions our international students have had in the past. You can also email us directly at iss@tcnj.edu, and someone from our office will respond to your inquiry promptly. For today's webinar, I'm going to cover our three main objectives in international student service support. One is preparing admitted students to transition to life in the U.S. and at TCNJ. The second is orienting our students to campus and the services and opportunities offered here. And last is supporting students with one-on-one assistance and guidance through their experience here. So the first step, prepare. As you prepare for your move to campus, ISS will be an invaluable resource to you as you deal with all the bureaucracy there is in becoming a U.S. college student. As an international student, once you're accepted to the college, your first goal will probably be to initiate your visa process. This process is essential so that you can secure the proper documents which will allow you to enter the United States. ISS is the office that is responsible for helping you with that process. We are the ones that assist you with that information and documents needed for J1 and F1 visas. While most of the visa process will be your responsibility, we can guide you through the process and help you deal with any obstacles that you might encounter. So once you have your visa and that's secured, there will be a fair amount of other paperwork you will need to fill out to enroll as a student here. From health insurance to class registration, we will again be your best resource to assist you in completing all the necessary paperwork on time. Timing is everything with this paperwork, and so it's best to start early, and as always, we're available for help, and feel free to ask it if you need it. So now, once your visa is in order and paperwork is all done, you are ready to move to campus, and that's where the orient stage occurs. Your arrival in the U.S., when you're arriving in New Jersey, we don't want you to worry about how you're going to get to campus, so ISS is actually available and provides free pickup services from our local train station here in Trenton, as well as our nearest international airport, which is Newark International Airport, and transports you back to campus and to your housing assignment here. As you're settling into your new surroundings, ISS hosts a separate international student orientation, which begins a few days before freshman orientation happens on campus. The purpose of international student orientation is to help you meet other international students, as well as to orient you to campus services available to you. So the campus services available here on campus are vast. From the health center to the dining facilities, we here through International Student Orientation will make sure that you know where all the services are and what they can offer you. There are an abundant number of resources at your disposal on campus, and we at ISS want to make sure that you take full advantage of them should you need to. The support services offered at TCNJ attempt to anticipate any obstacles our international students may face. Also, we also support programming that will make the adjustment to life here in the U.S. and campus as smooth as possible. Since your primary objective in college is to succeed in the classroom, there are services available to you that will help you obtain academic success. One of those is the Center for Student Success, which provides all students with access to academic assistance programs to strengthen academic performance. Another service available is the Tutoring Center, where you can gain one-on-one academic assistance from peer tutors. So you have fellow students who serve as tutors to help you in any area that you might be falling behind in. If English language is proving to be a challenge to you in the classroom, our Center for American Language and Culture offers a variety of elective courses to sharpen your English language skills and help you to adjust to life in an American classroom. The American classroom might be a little bit different than what you're used to in your home country, so there are different objectives that these English language courses can help you achieve. If you're finding that you want to meet more international students and engage in our international community here, you can participate in a variety of formats. You can join, as Janika said, a culturally based student organization. We have one such as the Chinese Student Association or the Union Latina, which hosts various programs for Hispanic-speaking students here on campus. Another way to get involved is to join the International House, which is a living and learning community dedicated to intercultural understanding and the celebration of cultural diversity on the Tcnj campus. Each year, degree-seeking Tcnj students share 2 townhouses with exchange students from all over the world, with the students working together regularly on projects in the I-House, or what the International House is called for short, and for the wider campus community. And that becomes available your sophomore year, so you can apply to live in the I-House if that's the kind of community that you wish to live in. In addition, the ISS office is in constant contact with our international students about the various programming and special events happening throughout the semester. The programming offered through this office includes activities such as culture nights, international dinners, rides to local shopping areas, and weekend trips to Philadelphia or New York City. Also, at certain times during the year, there are special events open and offered invitation to international students, such as dinner with Tcnj's president, as well as Trip Around the World, which is an intercultural showcase promoting the international community here on campus. Finally, ISS is here to be your support and offers personalized advice and guidance along your journey here at Tcnj. No matter what kind of question or issue you may have, we will work with you to find the answer or the right resources that you need. We at ISS are here to be your support system, so please reach out to us and let us be a resource for you. Even before you make your decision to come to Tcnj, we are at your disposal, and you can contact us at any point during your application process, and we can work with Kevin to help you. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Kevin, who's going to talk about more about the admissions process.
Thanks, Jennifer. At this point, hopefully between Jennifer and Janika, you have a better sense of the Tcnj community and Tcnj as an institution. And if after hearing what both Jennifer and Janika have said, you feel like Tcnj is truly a good fit for you, at this point I'd like to clarify exactly how our admissions timeline works and what admissions criteria we take into consideration should you decide to apply. Here at Tcnj, international students have really 2 primary terms of entry if you're seeking a degree as a first-year student. So students can enter the institution either in the fall or spring. Fall classes here at Tcnj begin in late August, and spring coursework starts in late January. Recognizing that especially in the international student community, depending on the region of the globe that you're coming from and the school system that you're used to, we recognize that school timelines don't always line up across the globe. So that's why we opened up especially our spring admission term to international students, for those students whose school years may run later into the summer and may not have an opportunity to submit all required materials and enroll at Tcnj for the fall. Know that you can start in the spring as well. We are a common application institution, which hopefully for those of you out there who, again, are seriously considering applying to schools and attending schools in the United States, you probably already know that the common application is utilized by, at this point, more than 400 colleges and universities throughout the U.S. Most of the competitive institutions in the country do utilize the common application as well. And the common application is released each year in late August, a new version of the common application. So depending on your year in your secondary schooling and when you would ideally want to start at Tcnj, obviously you would want to fill out the most appropriate version of the common application. We try to turn around decisions here at Tcnj as quickly as we possibly can, but undoubtedly what assists us in turning around those decisions faster is when a student does complete their application in a timely manner, meaning they get not only the application but all required materials into the institution as quickly as possible. If you are not a student who is interested in earning a full degree, or if you're a student who's looking to gain access to a U.S. school setting prior to completing your secondary schooling, I also outlined at the bottom here some other programs that are offered here at Tcnj that may potentially be a good fit for you. Jennifer alluded to the Center for Global Engagement, and as well as this SLAS program, but this Institute for English as a Second Language and American Studies is really an inherently flexible program and ranges from an immersive summer program to a program that runs concurrent with your academic coursework during the semester. But this program is really meant for those students who really meet our academic qualifications here at Tcnj but want to strengthen or need to strengthen their English language proficiency. As I said, the inherent flexibility in that program can accommodate many prospective students. We also here at Tcnj are quickly expanding our pre-college program offerings. And these predominantly are summer programs that are meant to give prospective students a snapshot of what it would be like to not only be a college student in the U.S., but be a college student most specifically at Tcnj. And these programs range from about 7 days to 10 days over the summer, and some of them are actually credit-bearing. So if you participate in this program, whether you continue on at Tcnj or at another institution, you can take those credits with you and transfer them to another institution. So certainly programs to consider for anyone who knows that a U.S. institution may be a good fit for them. Regarding the actual criteria for admission here at Tcnj, we most especially focus on your core academic transcript and standardized test scores that you provide to us. It's important to note that for the academic transcripts, our office policy requires that official copies be sent to us. And I've especially noticed this frustration with international students in terms of obtaining that official transcript, but we try to work with students whenever possible in doing so. But know that in many cases, in most cases, that transcript will also need to be translated and in some cases evaluated. On our website, which you can see at the bottom here, there are a list of approved companies, evaluation companies. Currently Tcnj approved 4 companies to evaluate applicants' transcripts. And what those companies obviously will do is equate the coursework that you've already taken and qualify it so that we know you're a qualified applicant based on those application materials. We do prefer SAT or ACT test scores, but on a case-by-case basis, I have worked with our Director of Admissions to review and contextualize standardized test scores inherent to the region of the globe that you're coming from. So while SAT or ACT is preferred, in some cases we can make an exception for applicants who may not be able to access an SAT or ACT testing site. But certainly connect with me if you'd like to discuss that further. As I mentioned earlier, for those students who do demonstrate academic strong academic qualifications but may not have the English language proficiency that really our faculty here at the institution are looking for from students in their classroom, we do offer conditional admission to eligible students. And conditional admission would be pending a student's participation in that Institute for English as a Second Language and American Studies that I mentioned earlier. We do require all applicants to select an academic program to be considered under because TCNJ, it's important to note, is an enrollment management institution. So we want to make sure that we are reviewing you for admission to the academic program you truly want. And at TCNJ, unlike some of our peer institutions, as an admitted student, you begin that academic program day one of your undergraduate experience. You would never have to reapply to gain entry to that academic major. There is an essay associated with the common application that you would see and an application fee. We rely heavily, again, especially with international students, on letters of recommendation as well. Because unfortunately, for many of our international applicants, it may be difficult for them to get to campus and connect with admissions professionals or faculty face-to-face. So we do rely heavily and take seriously any letters of recommendation that are attached with application materials. The last bulleted criteria here mentions our International Student Admissions Booklet. And this is updated and issued by our Center for Global Engagement each year. This really only applies to those students who will require a visa in order to attend TCNJ. So if you will require an F1 and you have to fill out an application for I-20, then this International Student Admissions Booklet captures all of the information that the Center for Global Engagement will need in order to process your paperwork. You'll notice I gave this bullet a slightly different image only because I want to share that this International Student Admissions Booklet is not required in order to be reviewed for admission to the institution. But we do list it as a requirement so that students get those materials to us as soon as possible so we can turn around the I-20 information as fast as possible should you be offered admission to the institution. You will find more information regarding all of this admissions criteria and the application timeline on the website below. And you'll want to click on Apply and click on International Applicants in order to gain access to that information. With that said, I did want to share direct contact information for myself, for Janika, and for Jennifer in case you have any follow-up questions. You can still private message us now in the webinar itself if you do have any of those questions. But we find many students really want to be able to establish a rapport with us, even if it's electronically via email, if they're interested in attending TCNJ, to figure out truly which requirements and criteria apply to them and which timeline best fits their expectations for enrollment at a U.S. institution. And for those perhaps select few who may be in the region and may be in the area and want to visit TCNJ and learn more and see what it is that we've been talking to you about, certainly visit this website at the bottom here that outlines all of our visit opportunities and visit events like open houses. Because that really is, if you are fortunate to be in the area, these kinds of events are the greatest peek at what TCNJ as an institution has to offer, and it provides prospective international students with an opportunity to connect with actual currently enrolled TCNJ students. Because should you ultimately apply and enroll at TCNJ, these are your peers, these are your fellow collaborators, and these are the individuals who are going to contribute to your overall undergraduate student experience. So with that said, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and feel free to reach out to us with any kinds of follow-up questions. And if you're going to take a snapshot of any screen, certainly make this be that screen so that you do have a means to connect with individuals here at TCNJ. So thank you again, and good luck with the rest of your college search.